I'm gone live a little bit early just because it's actually super windy up here. And so I just wanted to ski down a little ways, but I just wanted to get some views on screen here. Look at this day, ladies and gentlemen. It just honestly couldn't be more beautiful. Um, so I'm on quite a steep slope because I went up to the summit, but I'm always worried at the very, very summit I'll drop my connection. So, you know what? We'll see if this holds and see if we get a connection for a run down because what a day. I mean, and you know, I was in Vancouver yesterday. I didn't get home till 9 o'clock at night. But when I woke up to this forecast, it's going to be above freezing out here today. Good morning. It is just, it's so beautiful. I had to do it. So quite windy up top. But I do want to point out, if you look at the clouds down in the distance, that is the road into Yoho Park in British Columbia. So that's what that is. And then straight back here is the world famous Lake Louise. So hi there. Hi everyone. Thanks for joining in. Nice. I thought I would do it a bit later, but I actually have an event I have to go to later today, all the way back in the city. So I don't know how long I'm going to ski for, but I just, how can I not? And of course, my pass is Monday to Thursday, so I wouldn't be able to ski tomorrow. So so nice to see faces and names I recognize, but I'm going to lock and load here. Ready? And it's really not, I think it's just barely below freezing. Last night, when I was driving home from Calgary, going over Scott Lake Hill, the highest point between Calgary and Banff, it said 14 degrees Celsius. Like that's 50 Fahrenheit or something. So switch around. Way, way, way out in the distance is Mount Assiniboine. That's actually in British Columbia. It's like a Matterhorn shape. There's the Paradise chair coming up from the back. I just came up on the summit chair here, and I came up on top of the world before. So I just thought I need to take everyone for a bit of a ski. I'm trying to decide. I think I will left hand the gimbal today. It's always a tough choice. So let's go for a little bit of ski just because the weather is so incredibly perfect. It's just so beautiful. Now, the snow isn't as good as it could be because it hasn't snowed now for a few days after we had such a fabulous start to the year. There's people, yeah, I like where that fella just went down on the side there. I love skiing down there, but that's when I want to have my poles and not be holding a gimbal. So, not busy day at all. And you'll see these runs are actually quite steep here. See that? The snow here is actually lovely. Look at that. Goodness me. So it is beautiful. So okay, let's go fast for a second, shall we? Yeah. So bring you up to the edge here. Yeah, look at that. So I am on Treaty 7 territory here. It's such a lovely place to be. So Alberta is Treaty 6, 7, and 8, all signed before this became a province. And then the rest is national park territory. So that's just coming up a lot more these days than normal because of these kind of pseudo separatist movement, which doesn't really have any support, but is just getting a lot of noise around the world. So now way in the distance is where the gondola is. Oh, sorry. I really do need to invest in a new gimbal, but I can't decide which one. And they're a lot more expensive than they used to be. I mean, when I say that, into the hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And see, look at his beautiful runs up here. You can see how steep it is. So let's do one little quick one around to the bend. Okay, let's pick up a little speed, shall we? Here we go. Dun, da, dun, dun, da, da. There's my skis. See? Woo-hoo. Stop. And I'm leaning forward. There's our new bubble chair on the left, which is fantastic. And I will ski on that one. There we go. Ooh, right here. Awesome snowmobiles. But look at this for a view. Isn't it just spectacular, everybody? You know, I have been skiing here my whole life, and still on days like today, how can I not just be overwhelmed by the beauty of it? So, yeah, so the gully. So normally, when we have a lot of snow, I go over to the West Pole over there, which is fantastic. But now, say it's a bit bare, and it's also just so gorgeous. Um, I was getting sunrise over Larch Mountain, which is that one right up back there, because you can see down the back of the mountain up the far side. Yeah, this new chair is a bit just a life changer on the really cold days. It is just so beautiful. So there's Mount Temple right across. It's the highest mountain in the Lake Louise area. Glacier on top of it, and that's the Valley of the Ten Peaks, where you follow Moraine Lake. Hey, saludos. Un amigo allá en Perú. No veo mucho con mis lentes aquí, pero un gusto tener amigos aquí. Well, it is Lake Louise. So the lake, at the back of my car, I have my skates as well. And like I said, I'm going into the city today. There's a francophone business event, so I was invited to that. So I'm gonna have to drive in. So I thought I'd get in as much as I could. Hey, bonjour, bonjour, and look at this blue sky. I mean, when you see it like this, I mean, it's just so breathtaking, isn't it? So why don't we ski a little bit more? That, by the way, is a mountain larch, tamarack tree. It's the one pine tree that changes color. Incidentally, I keep forgetting to say I did not get a photo, but a few weeks ago I saw the big male lynx. There's a lynx family that live here, and someone had seen the mother with the cubs, but I saw them. But by the time I got my camera out, boom, they just disappear. So there's the famous lake over there, and the chateau, of course, with its brand new spa that is open. So now sometimes I get some reception issues down here. This is why I wanted to get in as much film as I could up here, because you never know what YouTuber's going to cut out. But let's just see. There we go. Da, 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 da. Woo-hoo. Woo, that was a little icy. Oh, thank you. Uh, so as you know, we just had 4 days out in Vancouver with my mummy and my brother and my mom's old friend, and it was really her holiday present. It was so nice going out. Our flight was a little delayed coming back yesterday, but no big deal. Um, now I love skiing in that gully over there, but I always lose reception, so I'm not going to go over into that one. But I will come down here a bit. And Vancouver had one rainy day, and then was beautiful. But when you see these Alberta Rockies like this, there's two things quite as dramatically beautiful as this. And I am sorry, I cannot see what people are writing right now. No veo lo que escriben. Ahora, je peux pas regarder pendant que je skie. But with my goggles on, which are built into the helmet, I'm really happy with this helmet too. I do think my skis are probably ready for a tune-up. But wow, is this good? Down at the very bottom, I don't tend to get as much perception. What I thought I'll do is I'll take you around to this really fun viewpoint. Um, and some of you will recognize. But here, let's just sit down here. Woo-hoo. Now we're making some time. There we go. And even, it's a little icy. It's very icy to take the jumps at the moment. I gotta be careful. My knees aren't as young as they once were, but still, yeah. Always watch for other people skiing. There's people out taking photos out here because, oh, the viewpoint's closed. That's interesting. I wonder why. For some reason, the viewing platform's closed. It might be that the snow on it is actually too heavy there, but it has a map. You can come up here in the summertime. Um, in fact, I was on the phone with a tour company just the other day that I'm going to do a tour for them on the 2nd and 3rd. And I told them about coming up here for lunch. It's called the Ride and Dine. So the summertime, they switch this out so you can either ride a gondola or a chair. And they have an electric fence around because of bear activity. So pretty neat, isn't it? Yeah, be hard to get tired of this. Now, here's the little trick park. This is the easy little one. This is how you park smart. Always look for spec, take it easy. Totally agree. There's one of the ski patrol there. So I'm not going to do any of the fancy rails. Just show it to you. These these rails. Now, tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, the Winter Olympics begin in Italy. I'm looking forward to the opening ceremonies because I love that sort of thing. And I will, those of us in this valley, will know a lot of the Olympians because the ski teams and the cross country, they all train here. They're all based out of Canmore. It's that. That's the upper park. And the lower one here is where people have to jump. It woohoo. It's the big jump here. I can take the jump. Well, I didn't really go fast enough to take it. But yeah, so but one of our top snowboarders was injured yesterday in a training run. Of course, we're all very excited about the hockey too, because unlike previous years, they've suspended the National Hockey League so that they can actually have the best players in the world. And one of whom, of course, McDavid, often considered the best hockey player in the world, plays for Edmonton. So let's go down. What do you think? Should we go Cameron's way, everyone? Just gonna come up to the top here. I think everyone is still hearing me and seeing loud and clear. This old building on the left here, years ago, that was a double chair called the Eagle Chair. And I remember being, I was probably a teenager, went to the top, and at the top it was minus 42 degrees. Those are the days when we got really, really, really cold. So there's the gauntlets coming by. Now this run actually gets quite steep in this section here. Oh, it's actually quite icy too. And it's icy because it's gotten above freezing, which you don't want in a pita, really. But I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, how is this for a way to spend a Thursday? My fat skis are not made for this kind of icy condition. That's okay. I just have to do exaggerated turns. But what I'll do is after I sign off and say goodbye to everyone, then I'm going to go ski on the back, and I play podcasts the whole time I ski. Lots of current event ones, but I can't do that nonstop because it just makes us so depressed these days. But hey, I can't be an ostrich either, I don't suppose. But there's the view over to beautiful British Columbia. I keep wanting to show everyone Mount Hector, but I need to kind of be out on the highway. Mount Hector's right at the junction point with Highway 93 that goes up to Jasper. The reason I mention that one is it's a gorgeous mountain, and Dr. James Hector was the geologist who was picked by his horse, hence picking us to pass. But also, it looks so much like Snoopy sleeping on his doghouse. But it's just up behind these trees. I just can't quite show it there. Now, there we are, looking down to the base of the mountain. And there is straight across to Lake Louise. Isn't it just dramatic? So feel free anytime you want to share these videos, ladies and gentlemen. The sun coming out there. And I'm very sorry that I forgot the gimbal when I was in Vancouver because I would have loved to do a morning tour, but I just couldn't. They've actually had the grooming machines out here to tear this up a bit because otherwise it'd actually be almost too icy. So that's just one of the realities. Big terrain park. That big park is where you see people doing like the really impressive jumps. And look at the size of those jumps. I'm going to be skiing the top and the back because this is icy down here. The high at the base today is a high of 4 degrees Celsius. Way, way, way too hot this time of year. But a big Chinook system coming through. Let's just go faster. 1 second. I'll show you the ice castle down at the base here. And over at Lake Louise, we've got some of the ice carvings up, but there's so much. There's got a bear on it right here. Look at that. But you can see the heat has actually had a bit of effect on it. Yeah, isn't that fun? So this is the Lodge of the 10 Peaks. And I still haven't, but I a handful of almonds. I haven't had any food yet, but oops, my poles just fell over. But there's the gondola. But I'll probably take the cheers up because it's a lot faster. And I do have zinc on my face today, because otherwise I'll get a big, big, big sunburn. So ça fait plaisir. It's such a pleasure to bring everyone down to here. Now we seem to hold our reception too. So a little bit shorter, but a nice little 15 minutes. But you see, we started way up on the summit, way up top there. That's Mount Whitehorn. Sorry, there it is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go up and ski down the back. But it's nice. I see a lot of people recognizing each other. Oh, it's my pleasure. Yeah, it's just such a gorgeous day. So I will go back to my podcast, but I want to thank you. Thank you for the contributions as well, those who made them. Sorry, can't really see what I'm skiing. And the gimbal's actually working pretty well. So there we are. Have a lovely day. À bientôt, à très bientôt, j'espère. Oh, the links was such a treat. It was such a treat to see. And it was right down by the turnoff to Skokie Lodge. Great big fella. But by the time I got the camera out, boom, it was gone. But they actually have their den is over towards the West Pole. And so people do see them. Lynx have extra big paws. They because that's the way they walk on the snow like snowshoes. Well, I'm glad you're doing the skiing. Nice to see people from all over the world, and of course have our friends who are all connected. So hey, thanks for connecting. Feel free to share this, everyone. And remember, we're still doing the coldest day competition on the Facebook page, which some people obviously didn't know about the coldest day part of it. But it's my first competition like that. Anyway, I am going to say peace and love. Lovely to see everyone. Thanks for hanging out with me. And feel free to rewatch some of the runs. I might try a video a bit later, but now I'm going to get my poles and ski hard and get some exercise. Lots of love. Take care. Bye bye.